Before the pandemic, it was trendy for companies in America to discuss mental health and well-being. Now, we all recognize it as mission critical. We all now know that mental well-being is not only essential for employee engagement and happiness, but it's also a leading driver of productivity, performance, and employee retention. But did you know that a large subset of your colleagues are struggling materially more than others? LGBTQ plus adults are twice as likely to experience mental illness. The treatment for Black Americans in America is 28% lower than for white Americans. Hi, I'm Adam Nemer. I spent 20 years as a CFO and operations senior leader at one of the largest healthcare organizations in America, all the while unknowingly struggling daily with undiagnosed depression and anxiety. When I was 29, I found my dad after he died of suicide, and I didn't get enough help that I needed. And over the years, as my executive career grew, so did my mental illness. Then one day, my boss, using tools he just learned from a simple mental health first aid class, noticed that I was struggling and encouraged me to seek some help. 9 years later, I'm living my calling, educating diversity, equity, and inclusion and other corporate leaders on the critical importance of putting mental health literacy in your leadership toolbox, right next to marketing, sales, change management, financial planning, sponsor management, and all the other skills and talents you've acquired over the years. Educating leaders that mental illness is real, that it hurts as much as physical illness, how to recognize if a colleague may be struggling, and how to get them help if they are. And right now, DEI leaders are some of the most challenged in America. For the most part, while 90% of Fortune 500 companies have DEI programs, their leaders face such strong headwinds. And with all those headwinds, are challenged with rewiring how company leaders think and behave so that they're inclusive, equitable, and are creating psychologically safe work environments for everybody. Given all that you have on your plates, how do we ask DEI leaders to take on another cause, another added piece of their scope? Well, it's pretty simple. It's just change management 101. We just explain why it's so important, why it will help achieve all DEI goals, why all their other work to recruit and grow talent from diverse backgrounds will be accelerated by a focus on mental health literacy. There's no debate today of the correlation between our colleagues' mental well-being and their retention, engagement, and work performance. There's no debate today around the alarming state of mental health in America post-pandemic. Did you know that the U.S. Surgeon General recently called out workplace well-being as one of the top 5 population health risks in the United States? It's also one of America's greatest business risks. 81% of workers report that they'll be looking for workplaces that support mental health in the future. And there's no debate today that mental illness is felt disproportionately by traditionally underrepresented groups. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, 20% of all Americans experience a clinically diagnosable mental illness each year. However, mental illness is far more prevalent among employees from diverse backgrounds. I already shared a few stats with you. Here are a few more. Women in America experience depression at twice the rate of men. Multiracial Americans have a 75% higher prevalence rate of mental illness than white Americans. Veterans, 15 times more likely to experience PTSD than civilians. And while neither disadvantaged in any way, nor a population from a diverse background, white men in America die by suicide at 4 times the rate of women and account for 70% of annual suicide deaths in America. What's often lost is the fact that mental health impacts organizational performance just as much as physical health. Just like a physical illness, when employees experience mental illness, it impacts attendance, productivity, performance, team dynamics. Workers who struggle with a mental illness are 27% less productive, have higher absenteeism and turnover, and 20% struggle with their emotions and get caught in fight or flight spirals. Here are 4 simple things DEI leaders can start doing immediately to make a difference. First, take a mental health first aid class to see and learn for yourself. It's really easy to sign up for one. You just go to mentalhealthfirstaid.org and you'll find classes all across America. Second, hold mental health literacy workshops and mental health first aid trainings for your organization's senior leadership team. Train your leaders. Third, train all business resource group and enterprise resource group leaders, participants, and advocates in mental health literacy and mental health first aid. Fourth, if you don't have one already, launch a mental wellbeing BRG or ERG in your company. Now, before we finish, let's double click for a minute on what exactly mental health literacy is. Fundamentally, it's just the simple understanding that mental illness is real, that it hurts just like a physical illness, having the ability to recognize when someone around you may be struggling with their mental wellness, and the tools to help them get help. And a mental health first aid class is a great starting point to acquire mental health literacy for your DEI toolbox. Just like physical first aid, mental health first aid is an internationally recognized educational program. In the United States, it's credentialed by the National Council of Mental Wellbeing. Since 2008, 32,000 people have become certified mental health first aid trainers, and nearly 3 million Americans have been trained as mental health first aid responders. Taking a mental health first aid class, it doesn't make you a therapist. Just like learning physical first aid doesn't make you a physician, it simply equips you with the tools you need to identify when someone needs help and how to encourage them to get it. After making mental health first aid training available, Microsoft and Apple found reduced absenteeism and improved morale. When surveyed, Starbucks and McDonald's employees felt more supported by their organizations. And Walmart found reduced absenteeism and an increase in employee engagement after running mental health first aid trainings. Mental health literacy is an essential tool for every DEI leader and advocate's toolbox. By incorporating it into your DEI initiatives, you can make a real difference in the mental wellness of your organization while also improving performance and accelerating your DEI priorities. It's really simple to take the first step and start today. Sign up for a mental health first aid class and then spread the knowledge to your organization. Because when you create a supportive and inclusive workplace that values mental wellness, not only do all performance indicators improve, but you change and save lives at the same time. If you want to learn more, we've pasted a few links with this post from the New England Journal of Medicine, the U.S. Surgeon General's Workplace Wellbeing Task Force, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and the Mental Health First Aid Organization in the United States. Hope this information was useful for you. Please leave comments to let us know what you think. And if you found the message helpful and valuable, please share the link with your community. The more y'all share and repost these videos with your community, the more we can put them out there. Anyways, have a great day. Be well.